Hello everyone and welcome back to the library. I'm Laura. Today I'm going to be doing the wrap up of books 16 through 20 that I have read this year. Also, I'm wearing my favorite shirt, which is my Dragon Ball Z shirt with the Ginyu Force. Anyways, probably no one cares, but I love Dragon Ball. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started on the reviews. The 16th book I read this year is the most disappointing thing I have had happen to me probably. 16th book I read was Heart-Shaped Box by Joe Hill, and I only ended up giving this 2.5 to 3 stars. I can't really decide. So, just to go ahead, this book is about Judas Coyne, who is an aging kind of rocker guy. He does black metal. I think that's his whole thing. And he collects kind of, weird stuff. Like he has skulls, skeletons, stuff from dead people. Well, his assistant finds a ghost for sale, and basically he will be buying this suit, and the suit has a ghost attached to it. That's what the seller is saying. A ghost that has been haunting their family. So he will be buying the suit with the ghost. So basically he's like, heck yeah, I'm gonna do that. Buys the suit, it comes, and he starts being haunted by the ghost. So yes, basically that's what happened. And I love Joe Hill's writing. I will say that. I read Nosferatu almost 2 years ago and loved that book. I still enjoyed his writing in this, but I was expecting something horrifying is what I had heard. So this was more my fault probably because I had higher expectations for it, even though this was his first novel. I had heard this was supposed to be super scary, and to me it just wasn't. It was more, to me this was more kind of action adventure thriller. It is still a horror, but it just didn't live up to my expectations. Now, I will be keeping this book. Usually books that I give under 4 stars I do not keep, but I think part of the reason I gave this a bad rating is my fault for having high expectations, and I think I need to read this again in the future, so I will be keeping this book. Book 17 was Harrow County Volume 2, Twice Told by Cullen Bunn, and this is a graphic novel. And I have talked about this series before. I read the first one, and then I went ahead and picked up the second one, and this is about a girl named Emmy who I believe lives in the 1920s on a farm with her father. Some stuff happens in the first one with ghosts and creepy stuff, and then this is the second one. Now, I ended up giving this one 3 stars, but I have since lowered it to 2 stars because it has a predictable, overdone trope, and I am kind of seeing that throughout both of the volumes that I have read. And like I said about the first one, the art is still beautiful, gorgeous, but there's something lacking in the writing and the story. So I did actually pick up the third one. I already had the third one on loan from the interlibrary loan, and I started it, got a few pages in, and said, no, I'm not reading any more of this. Just did not enjoy it. Now, you might enjoy it more than I did, so feel free to check it out if you can find it, but these just haven't been my favorite graphic novels, and I will not be continuing. Alright, it gets better from here because 18, I read Saga Volume 9 by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. I have loved this graphic novel series since I started it 2 years ago when I started BookTube. Well, before I started BookTube actually. And I just love this. If you don't know what it is about, it's about a couple that are from 2 different worlds. Well, there's a world and then a moon, and they have been in war for years because the world people in the world have wings, and then the people on the moon have horns and like do magic. I can't remember exactly what they're called, but basically the people with the wings were enslaving the people with the horns on the moon, and so there's been this huge war about it, but it ended up one person from the girl from the world and the man from the moon end up getting together, and they start a relationship and have a child and have basically been on the run for like years, and you meet all these different characters, and it's just so good. It's not for children, lots of nudity, lots of cursing, lots of basically just for adults. It's for adults, or very mature young adults, we could say. But yes, it is very good. I love it. This volume, just crying, just tears, basically. We'll just say that without spoiling anything that happened, because it's the 9th volume. A lot has happened. Just have some Kleenexes around if you haven't read this yet. Number 19, Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. 5 stars all across the board. I really don't have much to say about this because it's amazing. I started this in August of last year, and did not finish it until March 1st. I'll just say that. Reading slump, but it did not hurt me picking it up kind of in the middle, 4th ways through. I remembered everything. If you don't know what this is about a girl, a young woman who we don't know her name, even though she's our protagonist, and she ends up getting married to Maxim de Winter, who is a rich man who lives in England in this estate called Manderley, and he is a widower. His wife, Rebecca, has died the previous year, and it's hit everyone hard, but he ends up meeting our protagonist, and they get married, and then he takes her back with her. Well, basically, she's just haunting everything. Everyone remembers Rebecca, how amazing she is, and everyone's comparing our protagonist to her. And it's oh my gosh, I don't even know how to explain this book. It was just so good. Daphne du Maurier's writing is something otherworldly, almost. Like, she doesn't have much dialogue. There will be paragraphs upon paragraphs of just exposition, and usually that is not the kind of book I like. I like a lot of dialogue, not too much, but usually exposition isn't my thing. But she doesn't write flowery, but it's so beautiful, and she just keeps you thinking the whole time with this book. You want to know what's happening, and by the end you're just going to be sitting there like, what? Wow. And so at this point, I am going to be reading all of her books that I can find, because she's so good. Read her, go, run to the library, order from Amazon, I don't care. Please read this book. Now. Okay. She calmed down after that last one. So, book 20 that I read was The Color Out of Space by H.P. Lovecraft. And this is actually the first H.P. Lovecraft I have ever read, which is crazy, because of course I've always heard great things about him. I love Edgar Allan Poe. They write very differently, but they still write horror. And this is a short story, so I can't say much, but basically let's say that something falls out of the sky and bad things start to happen. And H.P. Lovecraft's writing is great. I was always afraid, you hear Lovecraftian novels, Lovecraftian writing, and I was always scared that was gonna be like too flowery and I would not enjoy it, but loved it. It was really great. Like his writing a lot. Super creepy. Like, he's showing very well about what is happening, not just telling. So you can picture it in your mind, and it's just, ugh, like you just shudder at the thought of it. I gave this what did I give this? I gave this 4 stars. Really good. Definitely gonna read some more Lovecraft. So that is my wrap up of books 16 through 20. As I always say, let me know if you've read any of these and what you thought of them. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, and if you'd like to see more, also please subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!